I'm going to let you know right now, I think December 14th, 1990 is one of the best days in the Famicom's library. 8 games were released that day, and I enjoy all of them. Obviously, not all of them to the same extent, but it's a week of fun Famidailies coming. And I'm kicking things off with Abarenbou Tengu, the greatest Bakage on the Famicom. Bakage is a term that grew out of kusoge, or crap game. It basically means stupid game. Something for the games so absurd that you have to see them to believe them. They might be good games, they might be bad games, but they are strange games. Abarenbou Tengu has players control a mask, flying through the United States and devastating the landscape wherever it goes. The United States has been overrun by monsters, and that's something that also happens in the game. The takeover awakens an ancient Japanese spirit who invades the United States to stop the monsters. There are 4 basic stages in Abarenbou Tengu. You can pick any one of those to do first, and then it will rotate through the rest of them. I actually do recommend starting with Stage 1. They are numbered according to how difficult they are, and there's a bit of an advantage you can gain by doing the easier stages first. When you're selecting your initial stage, you can also pick if you want to do it on easy or hard mode. There's absolutely no shame in playing on easy here. This is a tough game even on that setting. As you're flying around, the B button attacks, and the A button generally does nothing. You start out being able to fire a shot straight ahead, as well as spit out a bomb. The most important thing that you can do on stages is to attack terrain. Buildings, pipelines, cliff faces. If you can shoot a chunk out of the background, that's what you need to attack. Occasionally, a person will pop out of destroyed terrain, and if you catch them before they reach the ground, you increase your power-up bar. Every time you collect 5, you increase your firepower. At first you'll add additional shots that curve off, but after 15 you also add a bomb that will destroy everything on the screen when you hit the A button. That's an ability that can only be used once until you collect 5 more people. Honestly, I always found the bomb to be a bit useless here, so I wouldn't worry about it. You have a health bar, and it's actually a little bit more complicated than it looks. While you take damage from bullets, it takes several shots to knock off 1 mask from that life bar. The real threat to you is collisions. Anything where the source of damage doesn't despawn when it hits you tends to make your life bar vanish very quickly. And environmental hazards knock you down to exactly 1 hit left. One of the more awkward aspects of Abarenbou Tengu is that it's not always easy to tell what the environmental hazards are. On Stage 1, it's the beams that emit from buildings in the background. It looks like they're off in the distance, but those hurt you pretty badly. On Stage 2, it's the lightning flashes striking the peaks. At least that one's easy to figure out. On Stage 3, it's the smoke coming out of the refineries. It won't hurt you while it's fading in and out, but once it becomes solid, it's deadly. Stage 4 doesn't have anything like that, but there are these things that you have to circle around to avoid them. Something important about environmental hazards is it's very common that you have to dodge them immediately. If they reach the halfway point of the screen and activate, there's a really good chance it's not going to deactivate before it hits you. So as soon as you see the opportunity to get through, take it. Most of the stages are divided up into 2 portions. You fly through the first region, fight a mini-boss, fly through the second region, then fight a boss. But the third area's boss is a stage unto itself, and the 4th level only has the single section. Level 1 has you flying through New York City. Most of the time you'll be shooting your way through skyscrapers. At the end you fight the Statue of Liberty, who shoots out a flaming torch. Just keep shooting her in the face. Stage 2 is the Grand Canyon. You can destroy the cliff faces there, and at the end you'll fight Paul Bunyan. Yes, that's supposed to be Paul Bunyan. He's probably the easiest of the bosses. Level 3 takes you to an oil refinery in Texas. After you smash up the outside of the facility, you'll go into a weapons plant where there is no destructible terrain. There are, however, a lot of dead ends that you have to avoid. The boss here is a giant mobile weapons platform, and you can actually destroy parts of it to release people. It's basically a 3rd stage for you to shoot through, complete with laser cannons that will destroy you. Get to the end and you just have to shoot that core for a little while. The fourth level takes place in an underground cavern somewhere below the Dakotas. Here you'll have to go through lava waterfalls that will push you down, but you can destroy some of the rocks. The boss here are these things that leave a trail behind them, and when you destroy them, the head remains in place to get in your way. Once you've defeated all of them, you go to fight an alien who's the cause of all of this. You have to dodge his orbs while shooting his head. Blow up the alien, and you freed America. Something that will help you on the way is that you recover health by scoring points. And if you score 50,000 points, then you earn an additional continue. You're only given 1 life, but have 5 continues initially. And that's why it helps to go to the easier stages first. It lets you rack up those additional continues before you hit the hard ones. You don't have auto-fire initially. In fact, I plugged in an auto-fire controller after about 20 minutes just to save my hand. You can get auto-fire though. Rescuing somebody while the thousandth digit in your score is 7 turns on auto-fire. But that's something so inconsistent, you should probably just use a controller. There is a cheat code to recover health if you really need it. Just pause the game and enter this code, and that'll restore your life. There's a bit of an odd history with the US port of this one. Originally, the game was supposed to have you flying a severed head around. Japanese players claim that it was changed because of Nintendo of America's policies, but the US version has the severed head. In Japan, Abarenbou Tengu has quite a following. But because it sold so poorly on release, it's become very expensive these days. 15,000 yen for a cartridge-only copy would not be an unexpected price. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I have a ton of fun with this game. Yeah, the enemies that you shoot at are a bit damage spongy, but the real fun here is in smashing through all of the terrain, throwing devastation everywhere. This is one that I just love going back and playing through.